Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for our Final Expense Monthly Monday. My name is Matt Alina, and I am the Final Expense Manager here at URL Insurance Group, and I appreciate you guys taking time to set aside a few minutes on your this Monday morning to kind of learn something about final expense. Now, this is an open forum. One of the things that we like to do is get some feedback from you. So there will be a point in time where you can ask any questions that you want, any questions that you have pertaining to final expense sales. You can type your questions, and then I'll read those questions at the question and answer portion, our open forum portion of our presentation today. I know that there's a lot of people on the call today who are brand new to URL, brand new to the final expense marketplace. So let me just tell you what we try to do. In 30 minutes of time, we try to kind of just give you just enough to kind of get you motivated, get you going for final expense sales. So here's what we try to accomplish in 30 minutes. For those that are new to URL, I do want to give you just a brief introduction to final expense sales here at URL. I'll also discuss our lead program and our lead subsidies. We'll have some different final expense sales tips in there. We'll discover and discuss some of the company updates, any changes that have come down the pipeline since the last time we had our meeting, which would have been last month. I'll also give you some materials on how to get started. I'll have some poll questions, and last but certainly not least, that's where you'll be able to have an open forum. You can ask any questions, you can tell me about your successes and also some of your failures. You know, there's a little bit of that in every line of business. So let me just kind of go into our introduction to final expense. We have what we call our playbook for success. We're basically final expense coaches here. We can help you with obtaining and getting in front of clients. We can provide you with sales materials. We have different sales scripts, guides, online quoting. We have a turnkey marketing program that's designed specifically for Medicare producers. So for Medicare producers who are out there and you're looking to cross-sell final expense to your Medicare clients, we have some really good proven turnkey marketing materials that you can use. We do different webinars like what you're experiencing right now, as well as live seminars here in our office, as well as one-on-one training. You call me, we can set up a time, and we can kind of just go back and forth and discuss some of the different things that are out there, and design your own unique playbook for success. When you work with URL and you partner with URL, you're also getting access to numerous lead sources. They're all exclusive leads. And we also subsidize your leads based on production. We have a full portfolio of carriers, from guaranteed issue plans with AIG and Gerber and a couple others, all the way to the level benefit plans with top commissions as well. How do you know which carriers to select? That's part of our little consultation process. When we talk one-on-one, we'll be able to discuss what carriers are going to fit the needs for your clients. We'd rather have carriers that work best for your clients as opposed to trying to fit a client into a carrier and try to fit a square peg into a round hole. You can also see where companies are most competitive by utilizing our final expense quote engine. When you go to our website, which is url.insgroup.com/Aries. If you go to Life Markets and then Quoting Tools, you'll see that it'll go to the Life Markets Quoting Tools, click on Final Expense. And then it'll take you to this area here on the left-hand side where you'll put in the state that you're doing business, the date of birth of your client, the gender of your client, male or female, tobacco use, and then the amount of coverage, and then click on Get Quotes Now. You can also change the benefit from level to graded to guaranteed issue. On the right-hand side, the quote engine does the shopping for you, and it compares all of the rates with all of our final expense carriers. And you'll see that it'll do the shopping and it gives you the different rates. Now, I tell other agents this, I'm telling you this as well. I would recommend that you use this for your own eyes because you're not going to get licensed. You don't want to get licensed with every carrier under the sun. So you want to get licensed with a few core carriers, and that this is just a quicker way to be able to obtain rates as opposed to downloading every app onto your phone or having to to break out the rate guide for every client and figure out different rates for your clients. So our quote engine kind of simplifies all of that for you, all the way from the level benefit plans to guaranteed issue plans for your clients. So how do you get in front of clients? Well, if you've been in final expense or you're looking to get into final expense, you realize that leads are the lifeblood of this industry, of this particular part of this industry. So when you partner with URL Insurance Group, we give you different lead choices. Now, we are not married to one vendor over another. So if there is a lead vendor that you're using that's working, continue to use that. I'll get into our lead subsidies here in just a couple minutes. So we have lead mailers. These are exclusive leads, so they're not going to you and a bunch of other agents in your area. You have a defined sales territory. Now, these cost, if you're looking for a specific number of leads, so let's say you order and you want 20 leads, those costs range between $32 and $35 a piece for a 20 lead minimum order. So 20 leads is about 600 and some odd bucks each lead order. So the lead company is going to do enough mailings to your area or the area that you're targeting to get you those 20 leads. It may take a couple of weeks in order to get all of those leads back, but they'll do enough mailings and you're only paying for those 20 leads. The other lead source that we use is verified teleleads. Now, those are $25 a piece, 10 lead minimum order. You again would have a defined sales territory. You can either do an area code or you can break it down to counties as well. They're exclusive leads, and these leads are never resold. All of the leads that you would get through any of our lead vendors are exclusive to you. They're not resold to other brokers in your area. So $25 a lead, 10 lead minimum order. This lead program, this lead system, or this vendor has been one of our more successful lead vendors. We also have Facebook leads. Facebook leads are $30 a piece for a 20 lead minimum order. You're notified in real time through Facebook that people are interested in talking to you and getting more information about final expense. The leads are, you're notified in real time, they're exclusive to you, so they're not going to you and a bunch of other agents. And then last but not least, we have internet leads. That's $34.95 per lead, and that obtains leads through people's searches through Google and Bing. If somebody puts in their final expense life insurance, an ad pops up. If they click on that ad and obtain that information and they're in your state, that's your territory, that's your lead. You have to do a 30-day commitment there. Again, $34.95 per lead. And you're also given a lead management system as part of that fee. So while I mentioned that leads are the lifeblood of final expense sales, lead costs can get kind of salty. So we subsidize those leads based on your business. If you are a Gemini partner with URL, then for every $1,000 final expense business, that annualized final expense business that you place each month, we're going to give you an $80 lead credit. If you're just a general agent with us, a standard partner, we're still going to subsidize your lead costs. So for every $1,000 of annualized premium that you place each month, you get a $50 lead credit. So for example, if you place $5,000 in annualized premium final expense business for the month of August, Gemini agents are going to get a $400 lead credit. Standard agents are going to get a $250 lead credit. So that's how we subsidize your lead costs. And the mathematics for this business is fairly easy. So you're going to want to allocate about 10 to 15% of your annual goal. So if you wanted to do $100,000 in final expense sales for this year, you're going to want to set aside between $10,000 and $15,000 for leads to get that $100,000 to reach that $100,000 goal. Now, what URL does is helps subsidize those lead costs for you. So instead of paying 15%, you'd only have to pay 10%. Now, when it comes to leads, a lead is a lead is a lead. How do we gauge a good lead? Well, let's use baseball as an example. And Ted Williams, I agree with this quote to a point where he says that baseball is the only field of endeavor where a man can succeed 3 out of 10 times and be considered a good performer. The same thing goes with leads. If you're getting 3 out of 10, if you're getting 3 sales out of 10 leads, you are doing extremely well, extremely well. 1 sale with final expense is going to make up your lead costs in most cases. So anything above that is gravy. So baseball as well as leads is one of those only fields where 3 out of 10 times is considered good. So I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of a sales tip and gives you a little bit of motivation when you're out there and trying to sell and get in front of people. And understand, you're going to get some rebuttals out there. And we do have some responses and ways to kind of twist those rebuttals to try to give you one more swing at getting a sale with that person, with that lead, and turning that lead into a sale. Now we're going to move on to a point here where we're going to give you some company updates. So one of the updates that just occurred during the month of July is Americo has kind of changed their non-tobacco on their Eagle Premier plan. It used to be that anybody that used any alternative tobacco, e-cigarettes, vapes, pipes, cigars, chewing tobacco, they would get a non-smoker rate. Well, they've kind of made some changes to this, and they put in what they call their quit smoking incentive. So if your clients, or you have clients that are currently tobacco users of any form, but their goal is to quit smoking, Americo is giving them 3 years to do it. So the client would pay a non-tobacco rate for the first 3 policy years. The client has 3 years to quit smoking for 12 consecutive months. If they can quit smoking for 12 consecutive months, and they would have to put together a questionnaire and submit that to get the new rates, they would be able to continue to pay the non-tobacco rates for the death benefit that they're getting. Now, if the client does not quit using any form of tobacco, the policy is adjusted in one of 2 ways. Either they'll deduct the death benefit to match the premium that they're currently paying, or if the client wants to keep the premium where it is at, or if they want to keep the death benefit where it is at, they'll adjust the premium to match what the tobacco rate would be for that death benefit. So it is up to the client, and it's up to you to stay in front of that client. Gives you a reason to contact them again to help them get that keep that non-tobacco rate, or to if they need to make any adjustments, they can do it that way. So Americo has changed their tobacco rates, or they've changed the way they treat alternative tobacco, and they've also added a quit smoking incentive where the client can pay a non-tobacco rate for 3 years. If you have any other questions on that, feel free to give me a call and we can discuss that further. Now, for those of you who have clients that really have absolutely no desire to quit chewing, they have no desire to quit smoking pipes or cigars, or maybe they vape or they use those e-cigarettes, we do have an alternative for that where the client can get non-smoker rates, and that's through a company called Prosperity Life. So if you have a client that is using vapes, chewing tobacco, pipes, or they like smoking cigars, Prosperity Life will treat those folks as non-tobacco or non-smokers. So if you have questions on that, feel free to contact me there. So as we're sitting here, we're learning about some of the changes that are coming down the pipeline for through these different carriers, and then we have leads and everything else. How do we get started? Well, I'm going to tell you, you can get started literally this week. Give me a call. My direct line, this bypasses our switchboard and everything else, is 717-216-8041. So give me a call this week, and I will put together your own exclusive, unique sales playbook to get you started. Now, if you're already working with URL and you've already submitted your licensing flash packet, then you can bypass a step. So you would want to select some final expense carriers. I will help you do that. We'll get you the contracting started if you aren't already contracted with those carriers. We'll get some leads ordered for you. Leads start coming in, especially if you're doing the verified tele-leads, you'll start getting leads in a couple of days. So once you start getting those leads in, make appointments, start selling. And if you have any questions along the way, call me Again, my number is 717-216-8041. If you are new to URL, there's only one additional step, and that is to do the introductory licensing, what we call our licensing flash packet. Again, we would select the final expense carriers, submit your contracting requests to those specific carriers. We'll get leads ordered for you, and it's time for you to start making appointments and start selling. It really is one of those things where you just got to get out there and start selling and getting experience. You're going to hear some no's. You're also going to hear some yeses. Understand that when you're purchasing leads, you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your business, and when we subsidize your leads based on production, URL is also investing in you as well. So again, my number is 717-216-8041. That is my direct line. And then if you have any questions or anything, but I highly recommend give me a call before the week is out, and we will get you started. Now we're going to move on to a portion of our program where we discuss and have some poll questions. Now these poll questions that I ask are questions that I ask so that I can better serve you. So I just have a couple of questions. The first question, pertains to people who are already selling final expense. What is most important to you in final expense sales? Is it leads? Is it strong commissions? Is it lead subsidies? Or is it a solid product portfolio? Please go ahead and answer those questions. What is most important to you in final expense sales? Is it leads, strong commissions, lead subsidies, or a strong, solid product portfolio? Go ahead and answer those questions. Give you a few more seconds to answer those questions. All right, for those of you that answered, thank you very much. So here's the answers, or here's the responses here. So 42% of you on the call today said that leads are the most important thing to you, while 58% said a solid product portfolio. That is extremely surprising. Usually I was expecting a mix somewhere around strong commissions, leads, and subsidies. Product portfolio, I really wasn't expecting that as to be one of the answers and to be the winning result there. So very interesting. Thank you for answering that question. Now to give you a kind of a perspective, URL has 18 different final expense carriers. So we have the tools, we have the carriers to keep you competitive to find the best solutions for your client's final expense needs. Next question. What can URL do to help you reach your final expense sales goals? Do you need one-on-one coaching? Do you need help with picking the right companies? Do you need quality leads? Or maybe you work in another market and need turnkey marketing support. Please go ahead and answer that. What can URL do to help you reach your final expense sales goals? Do you need one-on-one coaching? Do you need help picking the right companies? Do you need quality leads? Or maybe you work in another market, maybe it's Medicare or maybe PNC, and you need some turnkey marketing support. Okay, a couple more seconds here. Okay, thank you for answering that question. So 14% of you on the call today said you need one-on-one coaching. Another 14% of you said you would like help picking the right companies. Be happy to do that as well as coaching. 50% of you said get me quality leads. And 21% of you said in this call today said you work in another market and need turnkey marketing support. So Interesting mix there. Thank you very much for answering those questions. One final question here before we get into your questions. What topics would you like discussed in future webinars? Would you like more company and product information? Would you like some sales success stories and motivational stories, or some lead information? So what topics would you like discussed in future webinars? Okay. So 14% of you said you'd like more company product information. 57% of you on the call today said you'd like sales motivation and success stories. 29% of you said you'd like to get more lead information. So interesting. We can do all of that, and I appreciate your feedback there, and appreciate you answering those calls or those questions. So that moves us to our next part, which is our open forum. This is where you can type your questions if you have any questions for me pertaining to anything regarding final expense, whether it's companies, whether it is leads, lead subsidies, anything that you want, success stories, horror stories, we have it all. We also want to know, and again, this is an opportunity for you to contact me. I want to hear from you. What are some of the challenges that you're experiencing out there in the final expense sales world, as well as what are some of your challenges, your successes? How are the leads working out for you? Some of the people that are ordering leads, you're doing a great job of letting me know that, hey, this lead system really bombed, or this is really working well for me. If there's a way to work around some of the rebuttals that you're getting, I'm here to help you with that. If you're on the fence about final expense, what can we do to help you give it a try? Again, that's where you can call me and we can discuss it, and and we can have a one-on-one conversation. So let me see any questions that have come in here. Tom, thank you very much for your question here. He had a question here. The question is, what is a Gemini agent? Good question. Thank you very much for that question. A Gemini agent, that's how you get a larger lead subsidy, for those of you that caught that earlier in the presentation. So a Gemini agent is an agent that consolidates all of their business, all of their contracts under one roof, that roof being URL. So if it's a carrier that we have here at URL, and maybe you have your contract with another IMO somewhere else, we ask that you transfer that contract to URL, and then we will try to either meet or exceed your current contract. If it is not a carrier that we don't represent, you don't have to bring that carrier to URL. You don't have to obviously get contract. You can keep that contract with the other IMO, since we don't have that. So being a Gemini agent, you're consolidating all of your contracts under one roof. By doing that, we give back to you. So you're bringing your business to us. We're going to give back to you. So here's where, for an example, so with final expense, you get $80 for every $1,000 of final expense business that you place with URL, where standard agents only get $50. If you do any traditional life insurance, or you do annuities or Medicare or traditional health business, we give you bonuses on that each quarter. So I hope that kind of explains it. If you have any more questions on that, Tom, feel free to contact me. I'll be happy to answer those questions. Hey, Mark, thank you very much for your feedback here. Mark, who is fairly new to URL, said leads have been a challenge. Many folks change their mind in a short time for when the lead comes in to the short time that it takes for me to call and book an appointment. It's been very frustrating for me. Mark, I know it's been frustrating equally for me as well, because I really want to see you, really kind of knock one out of the park. I think that it's this business is definitely a numbers game. And I think that a few of the rebuttals that we have out there that I think I forwarded to you earlier, in terms of if somebody says, oh, I'm not really interested, or can you mail me some information? I really like the response where you could say, I'll be in your area tomorrow at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, whatever. I can drop it off. Will you be around? That kind of thing. If there's any other kind of rebuttals that we can come up with, let me know. I understand your frustration, and maybe we need to change our focus a little bit, maybe move from one area of the county to another. We'll have that conversation. So I think that is about it. If there are any other questions, please let me know. Again, my direct line is 216 or 717-216-8041. 717-216-8041. That goes directly into my phone. And if you get my voicemail, please leave me a message. I will call you back. And I appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate the questions. If there's any other questions, concerns, comments, I'm all ears. Feel free to give me a call. I appreciate your time. We do have, for those of you who are looking to get into final expense here, looking to get more meat and potatoes, a little more substance on what it takes to get into final expense and kind of learn a little bit more about our final expense sales playbook, 2 weeks from today, which is Monday, August 20th. We will be doing a webinar on our URL final expense sales playbook. You can register for that through our website at urlinsgroup.com. You can look at our training events, and you'll see that that is coming up. And you can register for that there. So that is coming up Monday, August 20th. And again, it's our final expense sales playbook, and we'll get into more meat and potatoes on carriers and just the whole final expense sales process and marketing process as well. That should conclude today's presentation. Feel free to call me at any point. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help you meet and exceed your sales goals and expectations and final expense. And so our toll-free number is also 1-800-926-8875, and my extension is 141, direct number 717-216-8041. Thank you very much for partnering with URL. We look forward to working with you, and we'll talk to you again very soon. Until next time, have a great day.